Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to this segment of Coach Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. We recite from Asa Mahalla Tija, the 47th Shabad in the string. Asa Mahalla Tija, Manmukh Jhutho Jhuth Kamavai, खसमे का महल कदे ना पावै, दूजे लगी परम भुलावै, ममता बाधा आवै जावै। दुहागनी का मन देख सिगार, पुत्र कलत धन माया चितलाए, पुत्र कलत धन माया चितलाए, झूठ मोह पाखंड विकार रहाओ। सदा सुहागन जो प्रभ भावै, गुर शब्दी सिगार बनावै, सेज सुखाली अन दिन हर रावै, मिल प्रीतम सदा सुख पावै। सा सुहागन साची जिस साच प्यार, अपना पिर राखै सदा उरधार, नेड़े वेखै सदा हदूर। आगे जात रूप ना जाए, तेहा होवै जेहे कर्म कमाए, सबदे ऊंचो ऊंचा होए, नानक साच समावै सोए। Guru Amar Das on the Manmukh mind, and we will see what exactly a Manmukh mind is. So, Manmukh Jhutho Jhuth Kamavai, खसमे का महल कदे ना पावै, दूजे लगी परम भुलावै, ममता बाधा आवै जावै। खसमे का महल कदे ना पावै. So a Manmukh mind never finds or does not discover the domain of the self within. So what the Guru is saying is that the Manmukh mind is attached, it's bound. Mamta Baddha. Mamta is sense of ownership, of self-interest, appropriation. It's also mother's love, but it has this meaning of ego as well. Mamta. So Mamta Baddha. So the mind is attached, it's bound to its ego. Mamta Baddha. And the ego, Haume, is inherently false and unreal because it is an abstraction. It is false and unreal in the sense of being impermanent or asat, as we say. So the ego, which is asat, is infatuated with Maya. So infatuation with Maya, being in love with Maya, is called duje lagi, duje pai, or duje lagi, the love of the other. It's like the mistress, if you will, the shadow. So Maya, like the ego, is asat. That is to say, it is characterized by the quality of impermanence. In fact, Maya and ego arise together. So you have a Manmukh mind that is attached to its ego. The ego is infatuated with Maya, in other words, in cahoots, if you want to say that. And both of them have this quality of being impermanent. So what does this fascination with Maya do to the mind, to the ego mind? It gives rise to the illusion of the unreal, the impermanent, appearing to be real. So the world of phenomena, which is really ever-changing, strikes us as being permanent. And that is an illusion, parama pulavu. And under the spell of Maya, the Manmukh mind then perpetuates this illusion. Ave jave, Jhutho Jhuth Kamavai. Kamavai, to earn but also to perpetuate. So you have a self-perpetuating illusion at work here, which is the Manmukh mind. And in all of this, what happens is that the domain of the self, khasme ka mahal kade na paave, that is to say, the mind remains in a comatose-like state, unaware of its real nature. This is a description of the condition, the human condition, that is saddled with a delusionary ego, a delusionary structure that arises out of the world of phenomena, and then this delusion is perpetuated because it is a delusionary structure. Now, a Manmukh is also referred to as a Duhagani as opposed to a Suhagani. A Duhagani, in common parlance, means a woman who lacks qualities that are pleasing to her husband, or a woman whose husband is not alive. So because the gurus have used the feminine voice to signify the soul, if you will, the jeev, the bride, that is seeking union with its husband self, which is the creator, because the creator is the Lord, and that is how socially we are structured, the husband being the head of the household in patriarchal societies. So the idea is that a Duhagan is a Manmukh mind because it lacks those qualities that the husband finds pleasing. So the Guru says, Duhagani ka man dekh sigar, it addresses the mind and says, observe the fate of the Manmukh. Duhagani ka man dekh sigar. See how the Duhagan adorns itself. Duhagani ka man dekh sigar. What does it do? The Duhagan wears the garb of attachments to children, to family, to wealth. Putra kalat dhan maya chitalai. Fascination, wearing that garb. But these attachments are jhut, moh, pakhand vikar, jhuthe moh, jhuthe. That is to say, they are false because they are short-lived. They're hypocritical because they're not real, and they're defective. So then the Guru explains the opposite of a Duhagan, because we now have to become a Suhagan. And in Gurbani, these qualities are also referred to as Gurmukh and Manmukh, Suhagan, Duhagan. So the Suhagan is one who is pleasing to the self. Sada Suhagan jo prabh paave. And so a Suhagan adorns itself in the garment of Guru's wisdom. Gur sabdi sigar banave. And then the Guru talks about the nuptial bed where union with the husband occurs. So this symbolism is quite erotic. So the Guru says that the bed, the nuptial bed, is the bed of devotion, sage Sukhali. On the bed of devotion, the Suhagan then enjoys the rapture of union with the herself, and then Hara Rave. And having discovered the beloved, the Suhagan finds eternal well-being. Milapritam sada sukha pave. Then again, a narrative on the Suhagan. Sa Suhagan sachi jis saach pyar. A true Suhagan is a divine lover, and her heart is anchored in the husband's self. Apna pir rakhe sada urtare, in the heart. It's embedded there. Not only that, but the husband's self is always perceived or presenced, to be near and everywhere. Nede vikhe sada hadur. So mera prab sarab raya parpur, my prab self is all pervasive. It is brimming with the life force. And now the Guru talks about the yonder, meaning either after death or beyond ego consciousness. One could take either meaning. One could take both meanings. And I would recommend taking both meanings. Aage jaat roop na jaye. When you reach that threshold of death or of ego consciousness, there you will find that it is your actions and deeds that will determine the eventual outcome on whether you will cross over or not. Our actions and deeds will determine our fate. Teha hove jehe karam kamaye, not our caste or status. Aage jaat roop na jaye. And says Nanak, only they achieve self-realization. Nanak sach samave soi, whose character has been fashioned by Gur wisdom. Sabad, sachi taksal, to fashion, to grind the character into shape. So what we have seen is that the Sabad speaks of the Manmukh, and the Manmukh is always spoken of in a negative sense, of being a duhagan, one not anchored in its inner self, but acting out of the ego. And the ego is characterized by a few pointers here. One is lack of self-awareness. Second is lack of wisdom. And the third is the lack of discernment. Vivek buddh eh man maya mohya vekhan sunan na koi. These are the hallmarks of a manmukh mind. And without these qualities, it is like a stone in the water, obstinately unreceptive to the softness of the water that surrounds it. In Gurbani, manmukh patthar sail hai, it's like a stone. The jeevan phikka. Jal mein keta rakhiye, abe antar sukka. So it is unreceptive. It remains a stone, dry on the inside. So a manmukh remains unreceptive, unaware, and dead to the creator that actually surrounds everything, including the manmukh. On that note, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.